1. Introduction. My name is Diana. I want to tell you my story. It is about love, sadness, and finding strength. I was once a very happy woman. I married Carl 2 years ago. Carl was an important man, a CEO and a business leader. Many people respected him. He was strong and smart. I believed my life was perfect with him. I thought I was the luckiest woman. I loved Carl with all my heart and was so happy to be his wife. In the beginning, everything was wonderful. Carl always smiled at me. He often brought me beautiful gifts and told me lovely words every day. He said I was his only love. We spent much time together, going to nice places and traveling. We laughed a lot. Our home felt warm and full of happiness. I felt safe and truly loved. I believed our love would last forever. Every day felt like a dream. We talked about our future, and I trusted him completely. But slowly, things started to change. It happened little by little. At first, I did not notice it much. Then it became clearer. Carl began to come home late from work almost every night. He stopped talking to me about his day. When he was home, he was often quiet. He looked at his phone or worked on his computer. He did not ask about my day anymore. Our talks became very short. The laughter in our home became less. The warmth started to disappear. I tried to talk to him to ask what was wrong, but he would just say, "Nothing, Diana. I am just tired." His answers were short and cold. When I looked into his eyes, I did not see the love that was there before. Instead, I saw a distant look, like a cold wall between us. He was in the house, but his mind seemed far away. He stopped giving me gifts. He stopped telling me he loved me. Our hands did not touch as often. Our good mornings and good nights became just words without real feeling. I felt very alone, even when he was in the same room. This distance made me very sad. A heavy feeling came over me. I started to feel a darkness entering my life. It was like a cold, gray cloud covering everything bright. My happy days turned into days of worry and quiet tears. My heart felt heavy all the time. I did not understand what was happening. I missed the old Carl, the loving Carl. I missed our happy life. This new situation made me feel lost and afraid. I knew something was very wrong and it was changing everything. This was the start of a difficult time. 2. A new name. One evening, Carl left his phone on the table. He went to another room. The screen of the phone suddenly lit up. A name appeared on the screen, Fiona. I felt a strange coldness inside me. My hand slowly reached for the phone. I opened the message. My hands began to shake very badly. Fiona wrote, "I miss you tonight." My heart broke into many pieces. This was not a message from a friend. This was something else, something very bad. It was a message of love, not friendship. I looked more closely at the phone. I found many other messages. There were also many pictures. Carl was in the photos with Fiona. They were together in secret places. They held hands and smiled happily. Carl wrote sweet words to her. These were words that he used to say only to me. Words that I had not heard from him in a very long time. My mind went blank. I felt a great shock. The pictures showed them kissing. They looked like a happy couple. Fiona was not just a new name. She was a young woman. She was very beautiful. She seemed to want Carl, but she also wanted his money. She wanted his power too. She was hungry for a rich life. Carl started to ignore me even more each single day. He gave all his attention to Fiona. He gave her his time. He gave her his smiles. He gave her his care. He gave her everything, but he gave me nothing. I was his wife. We had been married for 2 years, but I felt like I was not truly there. I felt like a ghost in my own home. Carl did not see me. He did not hear me. He did not talk to me. His eyes looked past me as if I was empty air. This new name, Fiona, had taken my place. She had taken my husband. She had taken my happiness. My world felt very dark and cold. I remembered our happy days. I remembered his smiles for me. Now, those smiles were for Fiona. This new name brought a deep pain. It was a pain that grew inside me every moment. I walked through our large house. It felt cold and empty. Every room reminded me of what we once had. Now, only sad memories lived there. Carl was with Fiona, far from me. My life with him was now just a quiet shadow. I knew then that Carl was ignoring me for her. She was his mistress. This truth hit me hard, like a cold wave. It washed away any remaining hope I had. My heart was truly broken. 3, my sad days. I decided to talk to Carl. It was very difficult. I waited for him to come home one evening. He walked in, but he did not look at me. I stood in front of him. My heart was beating fast. I asked him many questions. "Carl," I said, "do you love me? Why do you come home so late every night? Why do you send messages to Fiona?" My voice was shaking. I wanted to hear him say he was sorry. I wanted to hear him say he still loved me. Carl looked at me, but his eyes were empty. There was no warmth in them. He did not care about my feelings. "Diana," he said. His voice was very cold. It was sharp, like a piece of broken glass. "You are imagining things. There is nothing wrong. You think too much." He did not want to talk about it. He turned away from me. He went to his study and closed the door. I stood alone in the quiet house. Tears started to fall from my eyes. I cried a lot that night. I went to our bedroom, but Carl did not come. I knew he was not in his study. He was with Fiona. Every night felt the same. I cried alone in the bed. The bed felt very big and empty without him. I missed the old Carl, the one who held me close. Now I only had silence and my sad thoughts. I felt very, very lonely. My friends saw my sadness. They told me, "Diana, you should leave him. This is not good for you." They said Carl did not deserve me. Their words were kind, but I was not ready to leave. A part of me still hoped. A part of me wanted to fight for my marriage. I wanted Carl to see that I was strong. I wanted him to remember our love. I did not want to be weak. I wanted to show him I was not just a ghost in my own home. But the pain was very deep. Every time I thought of Carl with Fiona, it felt like a knife in my chest. Every laugh they shared, every secret message hurt me. I saw him leave the house in the evenings looking happy. I knew he was going to her. Then he would come back late, quiet and distant. The days became long and gray. My life felt heavy. I tried to smile, but inside I was breaking. This was truly a time of sad days for me. For a sad photo. One sunny day, Carl and Fiona were seen together in the city. They walked on a very busy street. Many people were there, walking and talking. Carl and Fiona held hands tightly. They laughed and smiled at each other. They looked happy, like a loving couple without any worries. Their actions were open for everyone to see. Suddenly, bright flashes came from many cameras. Reporters were everywhere, moving quickly. They took many photos of Carl and Fiona. The reporters shouted questions at them. Carl and Fiona did not stop smiling. They seemed to enjoy all the attention. It was a public display of their relationship. I was not there, but I imagined every detail. The next morning, I saw the newspapers. There were big, clear pictures of Carl and Fiona on the front pages. The headlines were easy to read. They said things like CEO Carl and his new beauty or new love for Carl. The articles talked about their new romance. My name, Diana, was not written anywhere. It was like I did not exist at all. Carl was my husband, but the world now saw Fiona as his important partner. This news made my heart feel very heavy and sad. After that day, things changed for me when I left the house. When I went to the shops or to meet friends, I felt many eyes on me. People in the stores whispered quietly to each other. Sometimes I heard my name, Diana, in their soft talks. At social events, it was even worse. Women looked at me with soft, sad eyes. They showed pity. They felt sorry for me because of Carl. Men sometimes gave me quick, cruel smiles. Their eyes seemed to say, "Look at your husband. He does not want you anymore." I felt a great shame. It was a public shame that everyone knew about. Carl did not care about any of this. He did not care that I was hurt. He acted like I was nothing, like I was invisible in our own home. My life felt like a dark shadow covering everything. I felt very lost and alone. But deep inside me, something new began to grow. The sadness was still there, but a small fire started to burn. It was a feeling of strength, a wish to change things. I knew I could not live like this forever. The public shame was hard to carry, but it also made me feel strong. 5. I make a plan. I knew that crying was not helping me anymore. Many days I felt only sadness. Many nights I felt only pain. But something inside me began to change. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were red and my face was tired. I thought, this is not Diana. This is not who I want to be. I decided it was time for a new way. I decided to stop being sad. I decided to start fighting for myself. My mind began to work. I started to think about Carl and Fiona. What did they want? What were their weaknesses? I needed to understand them. I learned many things. Fiona, Carl's mistress, loved money very much. She did not only want Carl, she also wanted his power and position. She wanted to be important and rich. This was her biggest weakness. She would do anything for money. Carl had his own weakness too. He trusted Fiona too much. He thought she loved him truly. He thought she was good. But he was wrong. Carl told Fiona many secrets about his business. He talked about his company's plans with her. He let her see important papers. He let her be part of his work. He did not know that Fiona was not loyal. He did not know she only cared about herself and getting richer. I started to watch them carefully. I listened when they talked. I looked at papers Carl left on his desk. I looked at messages on his phone when he was not near. Every day, I found small mistakes they made. Fiona was greedy. Carl was careless. These small mistakes were important for my plan. I began to write everything down. I kept a secret book. In this book, I wrote about Fiona's love for money. I wrote about Carl's business secrets he shared. I wrote about the bad decisions they made. It was like building something strong, piece by piece. Every piece of information was proof. Every piece was a secret. I did all of this in silence. Carl and Fiona did not know. They still thought I was only sad and broken. They thought I was weak. They did not see the fire in my eyes. They did not know I was making a big plan. I was preparing myself. I was getting ready for my revenge. The more I learned, the stronger I felt. The sadness went away. A new, powerful feeling came, determination. I knew what I had to do. I would make them pay for their actions. 6, their big problem. I had made my plan. Now it was time to act. I took all the information about Fiona. I knew she loved money. She wanted Carl's power and wealth. I gave these details to many reporters. They were interested. Soon, newspapers wrote about Fiona. The stories were not good. They showed Fiona as a greedy woman. They wrote how she used Carl for money. People saw her true nature. She was not just beautiful. She wanted everything. Her good name became bad. This made Fiona upset. At the same time, I sent other papers. These showed Carl's business mistakes. He had shared company secrets with Fiona. He made bad choices because of her. I sent this proof to Carl's business rivals. These rivals were powerful. They waited for a chance to hurt his company. The rivals used the information. Carl's company had serious problems. Customers lost trust. The company's stock price went down. Many important deals were lost. Carl's name, once respected, was questioned. His business was in deep trouble. Fiona saw the bad news about herself. She saw Carl's company losing money. She understood her easy life was ending. She became worried and scared. Carl also saw the news. He saw his company falling. He felt strong anger. He looked at Fiona. He knew she was part of his problems. She used his secrets too. Their love, once a strong fire, now burned them both. They began to fight often. Loud arguments came from their house. Fiona blamed Carl. Carl blamed Fiona for his company's fall. Their happy moments were gone. Only anger and blame remained. They had created their big problem. I watched all of this happen. I stayed calm. My face showed no feelings. Inside, I felt a strange peace. I had planned this carefully. I had worked hard. Now I saw the results. They were trapped in the big problem they built. I knew this was only the start. 7, I see them again. Carl came home late one night. His face was very pale. He looked tired and defeated. He had lost his strength. He used to be a proud man, a strong CEO. Now he looked like a lost boy. He walked slowly into the living room where Diana was sitting. She was reading a book, calm and quiet. Carl stood for a moment, looking at her. His voice was soft, not loud and cold as it used to be. "Diana," he said, "I need you." Diana slowly put her book down. She looked at Carl. She saw the man she had married, but he was changed. He continued, "I made many mistakes. I am truly sorry for everything." He asked her for help. He needed her to save him. He needed her to save his company. He needed her to save his name. Diana listened to his words. She felt nothing inside. There was no anger, no sadness, just an empty space where her love for him used to be. He had hurt her deeply. He had ignored her. He had broken her heart into many small pieces. Now he wanted her help. He had never given her love when she needed it most. He had chosen Fiona over his wife. A few days later, Fiona also came to Diana. Fiona's eyes were red from crying. Her beautiful clothes looked messy. She was not the confident woman Diana had seen in the newspapers. She looked afraid. "Please, Diana," Fiona cried, "you must stop this. I only wanted a good life. I did not mean for this to happen." Fiona begged Diana to stop the problems. She said she was sorry. She said she had made bad choices. She wanted everything to go back to how it was before. She wanted her easy life back. Diana looked at Fiona. Then she thought about Carl. She had seen both of them broken. She had seen them lose everything. She stood up slowly. Her body felt strong. Her mind was clear. She looked at Fiona, then at the door where Carl had stood. "You both ignored me," Diana said. Her voice was steady and clear. "You broke my heart. You made me feel like nothing." She paused for a moment. "But you forgot one very important thing." She looked at them with new eyes, eyes that held no fear, only strength. I am stronger than both of you. Diana did not wait for their answers. She did not need to hear more words. She turned and walked away. She left them standing there in silence. The house felt different now. It was no longer a place of sadness for her. It was a place where she had found her own power. She had faced them. She had spoken her truth, and she had won. She knew her journey was not over, but this moment was a big step. She was no longer the weak wife. She was a woman who had found her voice and her strength. 8. A new life. Carl lost his big company. He lost everything he had built. His business fell apart because of the problems Diana showed. Fiona also lost her good name. People knew she was not honest. Her plans for money and power ended. She had nothing left. Diana did not need to shout or make a big fight. Her plan was quiet, but it was very strong. She got her freedom and her respect back. Diana walked away from the old life. She left the pain behind her. She did not look back. She started a new life for herself. It was a new beginning. She found a new job. It was small at first, but it was her own work. She put all her effort into it. Every day she worked hard. She felt a new kind of happiness. She was building something real, something honest. People in the city saw Diana. They saw her strength. They respected her for what she did. She showed everyone that she was not weak. She did not need Carl's money or his name anymore. She had her own strength. She found her own way. Carl tried to call Diana many times. He sent her many messages. He wanted to talk to her. Maybe he wanted her help again. But Diana never answered his calls. She never replied to his messages. She closed that door forever. There was no going back for her. Fiona also left the city. No one saw her again after everything happened. Her dreams of being powerful were broken. Diana learned many important things from her journey. She understood that true love should not hurt. It should bring joy and respect. She learned that having respect for herself and from others was much more valuable than any money or expensive jewels. Her story was not just about the sadness she felt. It was about how she became strong again. It was about finding her own freedom after Carl and Fiona betrayed her. She was Diana, and she was finally free. She had a new life, full of hope and her own choices. This was her victory,